Boo.
It doesn't sound like much, but when you have like a 3-high door, 400 blocks is huge. It's such a big deal.
Yeah. Anyways, let's start with the resources. By the way, this door is not locational or directional, and you should be in at least 1.15 as your version of Minecraft. Otherwise, you don't. No. For me.
So, as you can see, we have an absurd amount of observers. Literally, actually so stupid.
Not like the version 1. Which is really cool.
And also, please don't call this in survival. So you probably won't do this, but
you will now.
Here we have a ton of shovels. These are supposed to be non-stackable items. That's because they get more single checked out, and we can use that to modulate a lot of stuff in the circuit. So here we have stackable 16 items. This is like snowballs, ender pearls, eggs. But we just use bandits because you can dye them. That's not part of the circuit. So you can really use anything. We have an absurd amount of pumpkin pie here because that's what you're going to use to build these 36 outposters.
Make a pumpkin farm.
Yeah.
And also make a pumpkin farm.
And also, like, you need 2 different types of stackable items. So we just use wool and concrete. These all stack to 64. That's why I use them. Yeah, and so you're also going to need to fill 1 cauldron to 1 single check, so you just use 1 bottle. It's pretty cool quickly, we're not going to use the bucket. And 2 glass bottles. So it's button activated, so you have 1 button. Anything else? The clips aren't really that. The clips aren't as bad as the last time.
And
yeah.
Because that would be impossible.
Well, seamless would be pretty close to impossible. We kind of use the non-seamless a lot because it's a very ugly doorway. So keep that in mind that you're going to want to have a pretty final product. So we actually did shave a lot off this side. So this is
yeah.
I think it's 10 or something. Stay there.
And as we start, our input block will be here. It is a stone button, and yes.
In the very corner.
And some blocks in the wall will have to be solid. And I'm just placing this observer for later.
Yes, this is here to transmit the signals.
And also that for later. Yeah.
Yep.
So we're gonna start with the left. We're gonna start with the right side layout, and then when we get to the sequence, when we get to the sequence, we'll do this side. Okay.
Yeah, a big shaving point. I think folding the shovels in 2 layers. Yeah, on the other side they use the thing to do ABCCBA, which is really ridiculous. Oh, ABCDE, my bad. And they ran it 4 times.
Just a quick note: this orange circuit layout was my idea, because I'm really smart.
So these are the door blocks. These are going to be the door blocks. You don't glass or anything. Just as long as they're movable blocks or like redstone blocks, because we're actually never going to see this in the door. The only purpose is to move these pistons back. Because if they were this far forward, then it would not. It would be very difficult to make. Yeah. So they don't have to be words. As you can see, this is very not seamless. Yeah. Already.
And
So if you didn't update, this is what it looks like. It's not that hard to copy.
and
Yeah, this is what sends the signal across the percent.
and this block is what that's used for. And I'm going to start building yellow right now. So we're going to start with 2 droppers like this. This is just a way to keep the signal on for.
Yeah, so this dropper faces up, this one faces down.
Now there is a bunch of observers under here, but we'll get to that after. The item is in the bottom dropper, otherwise this button will not power it.
And the nice thing about this is, why did you break it?
Bruh.
So the nice thing about this thing is that once you power this one time, this dropper can power it infinite amount of times, since there's no item to watch anything.
Yeah.
So as soon as this one powers, the top one, then it resets it. So,
Now, next you're going to need a comparator output like this. This is how we're going to carry the signal up. Now this is very important for how this next part works, because of is a double piston extender inside a triple kind of thing. So what you want is a setup like this. So what happens here is when this comparator turns on, it will power this dust. Now this piston's already been extended like that. When this dust powers, it will power this piston, but it will also use this block to bud this piston, which will get updated from this. So these two will power at the same time. Now,
and then this observer
would power this. Now, if we just fire it with a simple 4-tick, which is normally how you do double piston extenders, you will have it look like this, because this piston takes 1.5 ticks to extend, plus this observer turning on, meaning that it will not work. So what we do is we send a 1-tick and do it, then retract it with the 4-tick, which is actually perfect. And then we just reuse this whole circuit again, but when this is retracted, it just does this. Observer. And then you're gonna go in like a big circle because we need as much delay as possible, actually. So the cool thing about this is how this works. So what happens when you press this button, the item will go up into here, and then the signal will get sent through. But when the item is up here, you're probably going to think that it's going to go down, back up, but it doesn't, because it's going to power this one first, then this one. So when so if I power it, and the way, and also, which is, yeah, so this triple was big at one point, but I made it this small, and this is actually how we get it to this side. And just place a piston here for my sakes, because this is how we're going to get the output. And next we're going to continue with orange, which also is really nice. And orange also is used somewhat for light blue. So I believe the input to this is right here. So you're gonna have a setup like this, and we're gonna use a ROM to control this. So this is a simple ABC kind of sequence. It's gonna power
Yeah,
this.
this is a buffer template.
It's gonna power this one.
Yeah,
And
this
it's,
is where your items are coming in. This is where
yes.
items.
So this is
You gotta
what.
be very careful. You have to put exact amounts.
So I believe the items are 3 shovels in the first spot, third spot, and fifth spot. This corresponds for the different sequences. Well, I guess pulses. This thing powers 3 times. So
it is inherited that you have them in this position.
Yes. Next, you're gonna get some orange items. So I'm just gonna use orange wool and orange concrete.
Doesn't have to be.
The first one can have 1.
They are separate items. They are separate items.
Yes. So that's.
They both have to be non-stackable. They both have to be separate.
And that's why. That's why the items in here are important. So.
Exactly. Back in the chest.
The reason why there's 1 and 2 is just for speed purposes, I believe. So next what you can do is just grab and continue this out into a comparator with a dust. So if we test this by powering this piston, you will see that piston will get 3 pulses. And that is as fast as it.
That's the beauty of the ROM.
Now,
because when redstone changes signal strength, it activates.
Yes, so the next thing we want to do is, well, we want to power these pistons. Now, it starts off with, I believe it's a rail like this. Now, yeah. And also, just a note, by the way, just a note, this bottom setting is actually not needed from previous testing, so you don't actually need this. It's just here just to prevent this from powering.
Yeah, just in case, it's better to have it not needed than needed and not have it.
So, we can have something like this, which powers those. Oh, no, yeah. So, now, yes. Yes. So the next thing we want to do, is place a block here and then a dust. So this will control these, and the way we're going to power that is from underneath here. So the way we're going to do this is take, I believe it's an output from the dust under here.
Yeah, you need to sync it around.
So yeah, so he's going to build pretty much the rest of this thing now.
Yeah, because Hi-Hi has Lightmatic, I'm not building anything. I'm going to be the one doing the explaining.
Deferless is going to build the best part of the door, why this door is very special. Yes, I understand.
This door is amazing because I am the composter lord.
36 composters, hooray.
Actually, we thought it was 37, but I actually went overboard.
By the way, just a quick note. Also, make sure you have immovable blocks in front of your pistons and stuff so nothing breaks. So, yeah, and also, well, not yet, because we're not going to build that yet. And this block has to be a slab for later.
This way, then it stakes around this way, powers the block, and then also goes here. Jump.
And this.
Yes.
And just an important note, this repeater must be a 1-type for the sake of light blue. And if you want to test this, remove this glass and then remove this. So when you...
Yes. All of the instructions down to the T.
And when you press this button, you will see it's really fast. Now we're just missing this dust because... There we go. So if we...
It's really fast, also can be sped up like by 4 ticks.
Yeah.
So you can use a tripwire hook if you're a beta male, or you can use a trap chest,
Yes. Okay, so now we know that this works. We can now get to actually one of my favorite circuits of the door, which is light blue, which is made by Hi, which is going to have the snow clip in here with farmland.
By the way. Everything is
So, if you already made, just a quick note, if you've already made your walls, I suggest you just start removing this one, like this, because it's going to get very hopper-droppery in here. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on in this space, actually. Like the circuit that's over there.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So, and this server doesn't update or and files them.
Input. And put any item inside.
It doesn't matter if it's stackable or not stackable. So, as it moves back, you get a 4-tick and this locks the comparator. Oh, I thought that was 4. Never mind. But it just powers this. So observer this way, observer facing into the other, observer facing, and then it goes into this lab right here. Sorry, I was busy naming the item in the dropper.
And also, that observer thing under there is also why this 1-tick is important. And by the way, you might be thinking, if this is the input and this thing powers, won't it break? Well, because of this here powering, this will not break. Because the pistons will already be out, like this. We're gonna do the clip last. Now, oh, you're missing a no block. You need a no block in there. And then,
So the no block does is it up. So you don't have all day process, which is so now all we need to do is just power
well, you could. And also, something that we forgot to mention, don't test something unless we tell you to. So,
yeah, you can break a lot of stuff.
Yes, I've been there before. I was following the piston door tutorial, and I tested it when I wasn't supposed to, and the whole door broke. But, and I had to restart it, and I actually had to restart that door 3 times, and then I gave up.
And it's almost time for the dumbest clip in this door.
Yes. It's also the worst minecart placement.
So a dropper facing into the dropper and the dropper facing up. Yes. Get my lowest T. So a hopper facing in, a hopper up.
Now this is where the transparent container can be used, so just for my preferences, I'm using a chest. And this goes... basically it would go from this hopper. So if you're watching my recording, you can see how it's supposed to go. So you start here, you go here, then here, then here, into this chest. Now this drop is important for the clip that's about to happen right about now. Yellow. No, it's also powered from yellow. Yellow powers it first.
Yeah, so this is a Tuesday talk, so. You have to have some tricky timings for the floating card.
Yeah, it's actually just easier to twist it. Just the button.
Fast. You can push it in three.
And you can push it through blocks. Now,
Floating card is very useful.
so the floaty cart is technically floated into this piston. This is important.
It's still floating, by the way. So you can do it up, or you can just do it right here. It doesn't matter. Just keep in mind that you're floating it off this piston. So yeah.
Now this, by the way, this next part might require 2 players, I'm not sure, so if you're in a single player world, I suggest that you can, or you have a clock to power this piston constantly until you can place 3 snow layers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to butterfly click, and he's just going to power, and it's going to power, there you go. And if you look in the F3 menu, on the right hand side you're going to see Minecraft Snow Layers 3, and you can just set up a clock for this piston. Just to play.
Guardian was butterfly clicking snow. It's your IP.
Yes. Which we actually forgot to add for the item list.
Because of the time, you need it for the time. So. So this isn't really. You can already see this card has been used and abused. It's one more stuff.
And also place right next to this chest on the right side, put a cobweb. This is just for how this works. So if you power this piston, you should see when you power this piston, so just power like a resin block, you will see that this minecart will go. Yes, fine. So even though this should be, by the way, we're using a chest minecart by accident, so it doesn't matter. So this minecart, you're probably thinking, why can't you just roll it into the dropper and then push it? Well, the problem is when doing that, it does not float for whatever reason. So you have to do that extra bit of work or to get it floated first. So
From this point,
you also need this block. And place a gold pressure plate. So when we power this piston, you can see that this piston will also power.
It can also be an iron pressure plate, but gold looks better.
Yeah. And you can see that works.
So it's got a certain amount of delay too.
And we also need a comparator.
Don't push the cart, by the way.
Yeah, try it. Otherwise, you have to redo it.
You will have to redo this entire process. And we might want to outline in the future how to do it if you don't have a plan.
Yeah. And by the way, while making this, there was a much better clip using a boat being like being timed and whatever. It was amazing, but the problem is it didn't end up working out, which I'm really sad about. Because you can just use a chain or just have a minecart drop down, perfectly timing a certain placement in order to have a certain clip.
So they're taking secondary documents plus
I've never been.
Oh, no, we're missing something in this area. In this area.
If you have air, then you're messing it up. This has really zero. Time for observers thinking, make it clear.
And the 2-tick actually acts as a way to get the most delay we can. And this is actually the way, and this is the way we actually start the thing, I believe. No, this is to fix these pistons here, right? So, because when we give this 3 pulses, because it's an odd amount, it's gonna go out, I'm using a button here, and it's gonna be like this. So when these push through the wall, so we just retract this.
It just sets them up.
Yeah.
Okay, do you guys want to run it?
So I suggest that you don't test this, and while we test it, if ours does not work, then this cobble timer just makes it delay. And this means that this works.
Okay, so the other side is going to be pushing all of this stuff back.
Yeah, so all it does is... So now you can test yours. If yours does not work, it means you did something wrong and you have to go back. So...
But this is actually really satisfying.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so you'll see very quickly why we need a 36 composter tape, because there's
Yes.
a lot of stuff happening on the other side. That's why it's so chunky.
Yeah, so before we get to that, we're gonna quickly build, we're gonna actually showcase the sequence. So if we guys follow me into the mist, if you follow me into the mist, we should see a sequence floating in the air eventually.
Eventually, we'll find it.
No, that's something else.
Feels bad.
Ooh.
Feels bad. We're trying to do this on a server, so we set the render distance to 2 meters.
Okay, we were like really far away. Okay, so I just changed my, so
Alright.
So we've made it. I'm just setting my random distance back to 2 seconds. So this is just a mock-up of the original sequence from the version 1 when we tried using a ROM and we didn't end up doing it until we decided to use the old idea provided by me. So yeah.
Actually, composters.
Yeah, so these 2 inputs are outdated. They are actually in the space here. And
Yes.
that's why we have the tape.
So this is slightly different.
I'll explain that, my G.
So each of the different inputs are in the sequence created by the Derpy Man.
The derpy chin. Show us the derpy chin.
Yeah, Derpy Chin. Okay, so this sequence is really nice. So the funny thing about this is it has 3 doubles, which is amazing. So each input corresponds to something in the door. So this orange wool powers orange concrete, sorry, powers both of these dusts. Now these dusts actually don't need to be redirected, it's just there for stuff. This hopper is here to prevent this from powering, but I don't think it's actually from this torch here. From just testing. Orange wool is the best thing ever. We will get to that without explain. Do not explain. That's it's amazing. So yellow corresponds to this row and so on. You can understand. And this weird thing on the top here, and this one is S1 and S2, or special 1 and special 2, because there's special pulses that have to happen in order for the door to work. And by the way,
Obviously, this is not very high. We have a special way of doing S1 and S2.
yes. Yeah. And by the way, this is the only way that I know of how you can do a folded triple piston extender to push blocks in this formation in a 3 height area. Otherwise, you can literally just do a 3x3 seamless glass door observerless type thing. So,
Okay, do you guys want to go back?
no, we have to explain this first. Okay, so,
Fair enough.
So, in the original sequence, we did have certain, like, combinations of moves. So, like, down here, purple to purple with something called palindrome and so on. But we don't have that because we have Deferlus's amazing brain that does that for us. So, we're going, so,
We have a few lanes. Yes, lanes, so, yes.
yeah, so,
Yeah, all of the boys' powers were
here. And that's important for later. Okay, so we're gonna start doing the sequence. So Deathless is gonna start naming the things on the sequence, and I'm just gonna power them, and you'll see what happens. So the first thing, the first thing you have to do. Now this is the only thing you actually can do because it's physically impossible not to do anything else. Because this is your wall here, and if you do anything else, well, you see this. So that's the first thing. Now this, or you can just send a 3-tick. So we're just gonna send a 3-tick, which is gonna do this. And now this next part is actually one of my favorite parts of the version 1. It's so fast. It's just amazing. Yes, but yeah, yeah. So next should be yellow. So yellow's the next one. And this just. And just a quick note, these are your sticky pistons. This is your door frame, like this, and then these are the blocks on the wall here. So I'm just gonna use glass for the blocks on the wall. So right now, your blocks would be like in this state right now. Because these blocks behind get pushed first, but retracted last, and this also gets pushed last but gets retracted first with this block. So the next thing in the sequence is line times 2, which would do that's 1, 2. Next is a light blue times 6. Yeah, so next we do light blue times yeah. Yeah. So just use buttons. So next is light blue times 6, which in the original version was already handled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this makes it so this can extend, retract, kind of thing. And then we have a yellow, which obviously connects to orange. Which actually swaps these 2 blocks, so when this is back here and this goes out, we can use these pistons to do everything else. So next is purple. Next is purple. Yes, and then we have a quadruple orange, and then orange wool comes after. So yeah, we actually have a 7-state toggle for orange. It's not really 7 state. It's just a weird thing. It's just an amazing thing. So in the version 1, orange would power now, but in our design, because of delay, these 2 are actually switched, but that actually does not fiddle with anything in the door. So we're gonna do it how the original version is. So purple powers. So in our version, and then orange wool. So orange wool is I believe it's a 2-tick pulse into a piston, which will give this a 1-tick. Yeah, and this is signal strength 1, so it does not power this, messing this up. And this is just to retract this, so it doesn't matter the order of both of those. So next is light blue, so we're gonna power light blue, which yeah, and then we can also power blue. So blue is this. Next we have S1. So S1 no, S1 is down here. So Hi will actually explain S1 because he made this one. I'll explain S2. Which would be otherwise really amazing. Yeah, so we have this weird connection setup thing. Oh, it didn't work because we were missing a repeater on this block. So if we power this, you can see that this gets canceled. And later, we also power this, but we just power blue because there's observers here, which already cancels this. So, yeah,
Alright,
that's
so
it.
next we have
Light.
2 light blue.
So it'll be 1, 2. Okay, so it looks like he's just doing a lot of derping. And this is actually one of my favorite parts of the opening
This is purple.
of the version 1, not the version 4. So we do a little palindrome thing, which is just a code name that we give for a forward-backwards thing. So yeah, so you can see it's purple, lime, light blue, and then backwards. So we just use a weird signal strength ROM for that, which is actually my idea. We just code, yeah. So we can power purple, then we power lime, light blue. I believe it should be like this, right? Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what the state of this door is in right now, because we're just before S2, so I would say we are in this state here. So we're somewhat in this state. So these are out because of me messing up, so this would be out. These would have already powered, and the way that S2 works is it's a special thing. So this is really nice. So we have to retract this, but if we retract this, you will see what happens. I'm gonna use a 0 tick here, and I'm gonna remove that. Okay, so never mind. So what's gonna happen is when I retract this, oh, it basically fails it. So we can't have that. So it relies on very specific timings. So,
it's a very specific timing, that's why.
So what we do is we fire this input, which is this one, retracting this, and this will retract this, and then we perfectly time this input to fire using these pistons. So what happens is when this retracts, it will power this one, which powers this one. Now we want to retract these pistons at the right time, so when these pistons are gone, this will retract. So it's a very specific timing that was actually created by me, but then I forgot, and then I redid it. So if I fire this, you can see it does amazing. It's just amazing. It was very specific. And then we just, which is what we mentioned earlier. So yes, so we just fire a blue, and then we fire a single orange. And you can see your door blocks are reset. So that is the whole sequence.
You guys want to go back?
Yeah, so let's just find our way through the fog. Follow Hi knows where everything is. Okay.
Alright.
So the first thing we're gonna do is build purple. So I will do this. Yeah. Yeah, so so we have this hopper timer, which is controlling basically the whole thing, basically from this purple. So the way we're gonna actually do this for powering it is this: we're just gonna have just a piston on it, and then we're just gonna have a button. Now I'm just using 1.16 to do this, so this piston will power this piston. Now this piston's not sticky, which is good. The way we push everything back is we just get, I believe it, so it's a purple block here. Now, I know there's a so there is a redstone block here. This is because of subtraction. This is a use of blocking.
So basically, once you get a max level signature.
Yes.
Remove these over. I have nothing in my hotbar because I set up everything with posters.
Yes. So this timer basically optimizes the whole opening.
And this actually, this timer actually powered like 5 seconds early, but because of the fact that tape is so slow, we get this power.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, the tape was fast at one point, but we had to slow it down, which was heartbreaking.
Yeah, so this comparator has a piston output like this, and then we just do this to send it back. So the items inside are very specific. So what we do is we have, I believe it's, so we're gonna get 4 shovels. I'm just gonna use netherite ones because I'm a rich boy.
Yeah, netherite.
And then- And we have, yeah,
And then 64 non-stackables, right?
no,
64 stackables.
no, snowballs. So I'm actually gonna use ender pearls because why not?
Just a harder flex.
Yeah, so it has to be, oh yeah, so,
The order's important.
so,
It doesn't matter.
no, so basically, we need it in this order because we want to make it, so if this is here, because ender pearls have a weird thing, if this is gone, it means ender pearls will become signal strength 0, no, signal strength 1 before it happens, so we actually want as much delay as possible, so we wait for all this to be gone, and then every one of these. Yes, so if we power this,
Is that a thing with just ender pearls or all things that's like
16. So I believe it's a piston here. No, it's back. Yeah, yeah. And this is how we get the output. So if we fire this piston, you can see we don't get our output because this redstone block blocks this conveyor for whatever reason. But you will see that this conveyor will eventually turn on, and this acts as a dual edge because in the actual door, because of the tape, we were actually 1 pulse short because of orange wool, so we actually had to fire the tape twice. So the first time is just to reset it, the second time is just to actually fire it. So that's why this is a dual edge. So this is where the madness begins, and yeah.
Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is make your layout.
So yeah. So we're gonna start with,
Just the inputs and that's what it is too.
yes. So we're gonna start with sticky pistons like this. Yeah, the orange wool will be shown visually what we're about to build when we get there. And also, yeah, so we're gonna have this double piston extender here. We're gonna have another double piston extender back here. Yeah, so hi-hat's gonna do the input. So we have a double piston extender here and a single. No. Oh. Okay. So
like this.
I feel like something's wrong here. Yeah, so the way we do these observers is hi-hat has a mod to place them, but I'm not going to use them, so that mod, so we're just going to use cyan. So this glass here can be any block, so it can actually be an observer facing upwards or downwards just for fun, but if you do this, you're an actual idiot, so don't do it.
If you do it, you should be admitted to it.
Agreed. Yes, so this is the amazing layout that hi-hat came up with, and hi-hat will now do the inputs for this. So hi-hat will do the inputs for this because I don't quite remember it because I have short-term memory loss. So
No, because there are like 40 repeaters.
yes,
It's kind of hard to keep track of that layout. So towers are facing this way, it's without the beautiful faces.
yeah, they look very nice. They're very like stern. So yeah, so we're using. I have the best immovable block ever. We're gonna use end portal frames because memers be like. No. Yes. So yeah, let's just use these blast furnaces because why not? I want to use end portal frames. and also.
So it doesn't. The wall colors don't matter, but if you're like, if you wanted to look pretty, then
Yeah. Yeah.
So then if you have two blocks like this, a block like this, that's one of these two blocks.
Yeah. Yeah, and we did have some limitations on how we could make it 3 high. It was kind of hard at some points because we can't use armor stands because armor stands plus piston is 3 high, pushing up is 4. So we had to use mostly minecarts, and we never used an armor stand at all. Yeah, yeah. You could also use an armor stand if you had a cobweb sitting at a specific level. Well, at the 3rd level, like this one, and having the armor stand sit as low as possible. But that's
really need armor stands or wither scaling clips to do. Like, I'm pretty sure you could make every door that exists without those clips, but it just makes it easier.
Yeah, it makes it easier, and for the purpose of how it works. This clip here was the only way that we could actually do this. This is the only way that this will work. E.
So, no, it's not one. So, yeah. I have 1,000 frames right now.
I only have like 150. Bruh. Okay.
I feel so bad for you, because I used to play on a that setup as well. I played on a 10-year-old activity. The whole design was at that point, actually.
By the way, also place these here. This thing here. So this 2x2 thing with 2 repeaters and a comparator. For that. And a repeater. Yeah, but we had to get rid of it because of tutorial. Well, we got rid of it because of tutorial purposes, so we can get the materials. But don't worry, we will. At the end of the video, we will show you how you can make a house inside of your door. Yeah.
Except for this notebook stuff and these observers, there's nothing actually remains that you can just copy.
Yeah. And by the way, if you're at this point, I don't know why you're making the story. You can literally just look up a 3x3 flush door. Yes, agreed. So.
I feel like there are 0 people that are gonna watch this far, but hey, whatever. If there is 1 person at least,
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, if you want.
And also, see you at the mental hospital.
Yeah, kind of, yes. But.
Also, it is imperative that you keep it this way because there's going to be something very special over here. Yeah.
By the way, I'm also in the point of view of whoever's going to be building, so you can actually see it much easier.
Wait, actually, can you do that?
Yeah.
Or, like, how do you get into
You gotta go game mode 3, and then left click. Yeah, left.
So, I should have done the whole tutorial like this. Why?
Yeah. So whatever you see, whatever Hi's doing is what you're going to be doing. So.
Can you show them the bottom really quickly?
Yeah, they're showing the bottom. Underneath.
So all of those observers are going to be facing like.
Towards. Yes. So the next thing we're going to be building is the red coder.
Okay, actually, there is 2 more things. So first of all, observer facing this way, this one.
Connection from yellow to orange.
There's actually, did you want to do Xbox 2 now?
Yes, but no. So we're using emerald blocks to do this because it's just a mix of gold and diamond because it's yellow and green and blue make green. So and it's really special and precious. But yeah, so you don't need to use emerald blocks. You can just use cyan blocks. What do you do? Yes. So light gray is a red coder. So red coders normally have torches and things and target blocks, which is nasty. So, and because the store obviously is no torches, you're probably gonna figure out how do you do a red coder. Well, I'm a genius. I decided to make a red coder with observers.
If you're a red stoner, you can see like what most minutes on the red coders and
Yes.
literally the most retarded person.
Bruh. Okay.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Bruh. Bruh.
It is common in the redstone community to hate on Mumbo, by the way. I think he's a nice guy and he's got awesome content, but his redstone sucks.
Bruh. Bruh. Okay, so I decided because I'm really smart. Okay, I decided to make a red coder using observers. Yeah, so yeah, we're really smart and we do not use target blocks, so we can make this 1.15 and higher. This also means that we are also because we didn't use torches or target blocks, they would have been out of the question in the first place because, well, that deletes the purpose of being 3 high. So we have to use observers and yeah. So I'm actually gonna fly to the original door just to show you the red coder.
So if you're gonna watch Guardians of the Movie,
yes. So you can see the original redstone. The red coder fits in here using comparator logic and stuff.
Alright, hi, please show them the beauty.
So I'm going to go into your beauties. I'm also gonna do that as well. So hi will build light gray, and I will also explain light gray afterwards. Okay, so just watch hi. Because this is important.
All of the observers are facing this way. Like, almost every single observer here in this part is facing this way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except for that one observer to your left. That's
yeah.
The only one I think that is not facing. Oh, and the one facing up.
Yeah, they're all pretty much facing towards the inputs.
Well, those are the door. Those don't count. That's door blocks.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my frame rate just went to 2,000 for a second.
Bruh. Don't worry. I will find you and I will take your computer and replace it with like a Core i. Yeah, I will. Of course, I will replace your. I will replace your iPad, your computer with a Core i1 second generation iPhone. Because why not?
It's my new PC. Just have like a DisplayPort cable. Just run it to a monitor. So this is the red coder. So there's. It's really good, kids. But
yeah. Well, no.
Wow, it's raining outside.
I'm outside right now, and it's perfectly blue outside. Going into the nighttime. Going into the nighttime.
If I was raining, I would die. Also, you use slabs for this one.
Yeah. And these have to be slabs because of 1.16 being in the 1. Don't talk. The hoppers are for yes. Yes. And also the.
So since you can see one layer, so you can like replicate it yourself, but
you just have to extend that.
For everything.
Yeah,
so
and this is.
Get out of the POV for a second, so.
Yeah, I'll do that too.
I can show them.
Yeah, and there's also a.
Just copies what I do.
Bruh. Okay, so I will explain this slice. So basically, we're just gonna use world edit to do this because I'm too lazy. We're just gonna build this thing 5 more times this way, but I'm too lazy, so I'm just gonna use world edit.
I can speedrun this. Ready? Go Guardian, stop.
Too slow.
I hate you so much.
E. So basically, now this slice is actually. This layer is actually different because we realize this doesn't need to be a red coder because of signal strength thus. Now, we're going to fill in this area to power this afterwards, am I right, guys? Yes.
comparator here, I think.
Yeah, and there's a dust. So
Because the nice thing about comparatives is they preserve the signal strength. It's a dust? You
yeah,
changed
and
it?
no, it's a slab.
You changed it?
So I will now explain this. So the way that this works is that we want different outputs every single time. So we're going to use a composter, right? Yeah, so in the real door, yeah, okay.
It must be solid.
And these hoppers will be facing in a different direction, but we're going to world edit that, because actually no, because we want to have the beauty for that.
It's still to will help us later.
Yes. Exactly, Kuma. Okay, so
So, if you were to have a composter,
because you got 37 of them.
Okay, guys. So, if you might be wondering, wait, do you actually use the slice?
yes, we do. This was
Yes, this is the big brain. Okay, so to explain the red coder, basically, a red coder is basically a way to have basically a selector thing. So what we're doing is we're basically gonna have this be. So we're gonna start with signal strength 1. This is gonna power only this hopper. Now, only this hopper, and then it's gonna power this piston, powering upwards, and there's obviously gonna be pistons above here, but we don't place that yet. I didn't actually know that either. That's actually
Okay, you have to put that in the title.
I would, yeah. Okay, so this hopper will power this, powering this. But when it gets to signal strength 2, what happens is this dust will power this comparator. Now these comparators are just here because yeah, I think they can be repeaters, but I just like them comparators, and they will just retract this downwards. Okay. And it will power this dust, powering this one. Now you're probably wondering what happens if you send a signal strength through that is not greater than, let's say, 1. So let's say you send in 3. Well, because if we look here, this is comparator is 1, 2, 3, and this is 1, 2. That's a 1 tick going into it. There's a 2 tick, then a 3 tick. But when you do that with pistons, this would not work with repeaters because of how it works. So these pistons, so if we power this with a signal strength of 3, this piston would not power. This one would extend and then retract really fast without powering this, but this one will power. So it's really nice. So what am
And you guys might be wondering, why are there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of redstone here? Well, it's because a composter's max signal strength is 8. So it's very helpful.
Yes.
And this is gonna be locked.
Yeah, so
So, this will be long.
Okay.
yeah, so
Genius composter take time.
just for we'll just remove this for now. No. We build. So I'm just gonna use 0 ticks to do each pulse. So what we're gonna do, so just follow this piston thing here. So this is for the genius piston tape, and there's more stuff to do at the table over here, but we will do that. So I'm just using 0 ticks here to do this. So one at a time, I'm just gonna use pi. So we're gonna have 1 signal strength. You can see it only powers that one, and then this will retract. Now we can increase it by 1, and you can see this one extended and then retracted, and then this one just went down. Now that's fine, and I think we actually have to reset this toggle here because we powered with signal strength 2. And then you get the idea. So if we power this with 3, you can see it powers the 3rd.
No, so I was gonna move on to the next part. So
Okay, and you get the idea. But when it gets to max signal strength, you can't get signal strength 7. So we have this extra dust to preserve it. Okay?
yeah.
So
Composers are weird.
yes, they're really nice. So what we do is we power this, and you can see only this one powers. And just for testing, if we make this signal strength 6, you will see that this does not power this because yeah, and this block does not matter. So
That's why
yeah.
this cannot be compared. I was dumb. My bad.
Now we can get to
Now we
Deferlus's.
can get to the iconic part.
Yeah.
One thing really quickly. So we had this idea of a red coder here for a long time, and so we were like thinking about cycling composters one day, and so Hi and I were doing like composters, and we made it in one way that it was literally a cube, and it was it was a rectangular prism. It was awful. It was huge. And then Hi went to the bathroom, and I had the idea that we had this entire space. So
Yeah.
what it was, we filled this entire thing up with compost.
It's amazing.
And then this piston pulls it up, and the piston pushes it. So, like this. Sorry, we're working in tight spaces here, but as we all know,
And okay, so
And keep in mind,
there's gonna be glass. So there's gonna be glass here. So I believe it's like this, right?
yeah, do it all.
And the rest is just filled in with composters, like, and they.
yeah. So I actually made it a little bit too big. We could have moved it backward, but
That's why we actually
So yeah, so
so the
we are going to do.
is not that bad.
We are going to do all of the. Hold up. How many was that? 2 stacks and 18 pi for this afterwards, because I have that here.
I'm gonna shoot myself.
So we're gonna build the tape, and then we're gonna do all this afterwards, and then we're gonna get to the best part of the door. Okay.
Okay, so
We're gonna start from the
how
input.
does this tape work again? How you with the light Vatican?
Yes.
So
So how will be building? How will be explaining?
yes.
For the most part.
Wait a second. Did I explain that in this one? I totally did. Apparently the glasses like this. It shouldn't be. But for now, I'm just gonna keep it like this. That's where it's gonna
Yeah, because this has to
At the
cycle.
end of the day, it doesn't matter where your glass is.
actually yes, it does.
Well, no, yeah, it has to be here. But
And
if you just move your composter amounts, if you offset it by one, then it would be fine. But just do it this way, it's gonna be much easier.
So let's start building the tape right now. So we will do.
So I'll start.
Alright, so you build it.
One here.
So these observer placements are very simple. It's just block detection. So
I don't think you need to explain that. They're not dumb.
Yeah, we just do this for now.
yeah.
We don't need to lay here. But
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. This genius stuff was actually not. It took us way longer than it should have.
so you have this. It's a copper basic looking back at product.
But so yeah, there's a piston up here. This is used for. We used to have it where there was like observers running up from this comparator, and then we had an iron door. But we couldn't do the job really with it, so we actually had to.
Yes. I'm constantly toggling. It's like that.
So yeah.
We don't actually take it out.
No, we don't. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
So you keep this here. This will be used for
Observer facing this way. As you can see, the face is here, so you have to place it like this.
By the way, we've been doing this for almost like an hour and 5 minutes.
That's better than the previous tutorial.
And yes,
Yeah, the old one is
for like 3. But we already have 36 we already have 35 composters in that tape, so we might as well. Yeah, we might. And this thing.
All the way, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Well, you can't see it. You can't see it because I'm in game mode 3, but you can obviously tell. So,
And then you take a signal
This took way too long, by the way. Like, way too long.
and I can't believe this was thought of when Hi went to the washroom. I can't believe this was just thought of in that time.
Yeah, it was when I went to
Yeah, that would actually sacrifice the amazing thing that's going to come later. But we didn't do that because we'll get to that.
this so much. I'm pretty sure they know what it is by now. And we do take it out. And then that's why this business here, so when this gets moved away. Yeah. So, this took us like I think an hour. This took us so long. I remember. So we were actually fretting over
Not as long as the first design, version 1.
No, but it's literally like 10 blocks, and it was so painful. So you take an observer here from this novelist, or 2 of them actually, 3 of them actually. So this used to be a no block, but we made an observer, so it makes it a little bit derpy, but it's fine. It actually, never mind, it's not derpy. You guys fixed it. There used to be a no block down here, and then they took it out, but it's where this no block was.
So then you take a toggle out. So that would power.
So this powers up into the block. There's a toggle here, hopper here. Oh my god.
It's just not.
So long. It took so long. Actually, a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be better. So as you can see, it is very not seamless, but
Yes. Yeah, you just got entities in the wall.
It's time for the second. But actually, we have a couple of
Yeah, we still have to build the connection for this. So this is why this is a dual edge. This is the reason why this. Oh. Yeah, this is just because of how this powers. This wasn't a piston before, so it would just mess this up. Every time over signal strength 2 would power, it would fail S1 and S2 powering every single time.
If you're still here, ask in the comments. We'll clear it up if you have any confusion about that.
Yeah. So this is the reason why this has to be a dual edge. And this just powers this for later. For S1.
We're almost there, Guardian. You have to suppress yourself.
So the last thing we have to do before we have to make this thing is we need to fill this area with a way.
We do another clip here.
Well, it's not really a clip. So I believe it's right here, right? No, it's part of blue. So it's right here. Yeah, so what you want to do is get any minecart. Do not do a TNT minecart. If you do a TNT into the fence. Do not do a TNT minecart because if you do something wrong, you will blow up your door unless you are on a Minecraft server. And where TNT minecarts are not a thing, you can we can just use a wooden pressure plate. And this
So push it in.
Next it's a 3 tick. No, it's an observer, and then it's a 3 tick. And then this is just how we're going to start the tape twice in a row. And then we will get to that. So this is the whole tape pretty much, the whole opening. But the issue is, we now need to get to this. So each one of those numbers in the chat.
Before that, we have something.
No.
It's like Apple, one more thing.
Let's. Okay, everybody follow me. Yes. Which, and if you want to see what the Stropper Loop looks like, you can follow me and let your minds be blown on how smart we are. This is only to power.
This is for one dropper.
This is only just to power.
Oh, by the way, this door is a work in progress. You might see this.
Yeah. This is only to power. This is only that thing is only to power this dust. All of that to power this dust with one signal string.
So, yeah, you might have been thinking, what the fuck, guys? Stop air. You must be shitting redstones.
Yes.
So, but we actually fit all of this in. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and what's the last one? Is it just a 6 then?
Yeah, so each one of these droppers act as a sage, and according to Hi, I'm gonna read his quote. To power one input can be a pain, but if one perseveres, one can do anything. Hi 2020, aka the Derpy Face Man.
Quote that everybody hates. Ready?
Which one? Oh no.
You never
You never. Yeah, so this is our last, and basically we actually had this dropper loop in a different version, in the version 1, so let's actually go build this thing, fill in all the composters with this.
Also, guys, so this is why this door is literally like 95% stuff because of this one dropper.
So let's start making it. So we're gonna start with 2 droppers like this. This is the home dropper here. Oh yeah. So this is access 2 stages because we want to wait for as much delay as possible because of how orange is. So next we just want a massive chain of hoppers. And now we want it goes all the way over here. Nope. To my yeah. So the first thing you're gonna do is drop a chest minecart there, and
This is chaos, but I hope you guys can follow along.
no, we
There's
have
a bunch of poppers here. We'll change some directions.
this goes like that. And then we drop drop a simple minecart here, and then just connect the loop like this. We don't know if no, you didn't. Okay, and now because these now that is true. That is true. These hoppers must face. Yeah, so
Yeah, so change the direction of these hoppers.
so they face towards the blue wall.
Yeah,
Now
I apologize in advance.
we're gonna world edit this in because we're lazy, but you can just make these face into a blue block because we're extremely. And then we can just place these pistons back.
Shocker being a good redstone is to be so lazy.
Yeah, and world edit is very nice. And don't and just you wait. On soon in January there will be a lot of world edit by me. You will see what happens then. We have this dropper tower. I have 2 droppers. Yeah, we have this dropper tower here.
So someone faces into these droppers.
Yeah.
These are 2 feet, both are going up, and this one's going this way.
And this actually observer here actually helps. This observer actually helps with the loop here, which is really nice.
Oops, faces that way.
This is part of the loop as well to control it. And this dropper.
So yeah, you stake it around.
Yeah, and this dropper acts as a preserving stage. So at the end, when orange fires, it will just send the item back to here. And we have this observer, which runs into.
This is the crown finale. Well, except for the stuff.
Yes, that. And then we just have a simple 2 hoppers here. And the item for this is just 1 item to go in here. 1 item, okay, listen to this. 1 item, 1 loop, 1 dust can change a piston door. There you go. My
That's
point.
very inspirational.
Exactly.
Oh, I kept right clicking and I was so there's items in here by the way. I kept right clicking, I was like, oh my god, why is it not letting me go into the drop? And then I realized there's a piece that
So this is the whole loop, and the next thing we have to do is now. So you can.
guys, by the way,
So
this is imperative to make
so
your door better. You
yeah.
have to put mumbo skulls everywhere.
Yes.
Please. Come on, this is a crucial step. This is
Yes.
more crucial than the combo.
Okay, so if you start, I'm going to game mode 3 on a journey. I'm going to go through a journey through hoppers in game mode 3. So you start through here, we go to this dropper, then when orange powers again, we go to this, through all this, to here, into this minecart in a little spiral,
So, yeah,
and then down all the way through here, and then these droppers will get powered. Yeah, that will be at the end. And then this dropper will go into this hopper and snake all the way around through here, get to this dropper, and when the last orange fires at the end, it'll recycle the item back.
But that's way too much effort.
Yeah, really easy. Okay, so now we're going to get rid of all of our composters, and we will now start. So here's what we're going to do. So here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to paste it into the chat. I'm going to spectate. Hi.
First you're gonna load your gun, and next you're gonna shoot yourself.
Well, we'll do it afterwards. So
SMH, man, red silver. You don't spam everything, yeah.
and so this were the 2 stacks. The two. This is where the 2 stacks 11 pie come in. That's it.
What are you doing? Guardian, what is going on?
I'm getting a call from pretty much the next city next to me.
We can paste the numbers in the description so you guys can follow along.
Yeah.
This is also Jeremy.
Yeah, I think if I was doing the tutorial by myself, which would never happen, I'd probably do this much better.
Yeah, I said hi.
We're at 118.
Not even doing it right. Hi. He's concentrating.
Okay, just let him concentrate. Just watch all the composters be placed.
I feel like Hi would be really good at blind songs. He's got good memory.
Yeah, he is. You just got godly memory, but I got a godly brain. How do you even memorize this? Or are you just looking at the chat? There's no. How do you? We made these numbers like 3 days ago, and you memorized this in like a day and a half. This is almost the end of the. It's almost the end of them. And this.
No, you did it wrong.
And if you did it wrong, then we have to redo all the composters.
Oh, but you can see it.
Well, with a certain texture pack on, you can see how much.
You can see it. I don't have that texture pack on.
I have a different one.
237.
And that should be all the composters.
Okay.
It's just Pat. So if this is the whole door,
I'm pretty sure it's time to run it.
so remember to place his minecart back. So we're gonna run the open. We're gonna run the open.
I'll put it back.
Which one? Show me.
And the Council of Bumbo will decide your fate.
Yes. And then,
Real quick, I've got an idea.
and then, and we have to hold. Did you do something wrong?
Come on, hi. I'm trying. Where's the list? Where's the list? Okay. Alright, is that it? Not sure if that's the making stuff. Also, I think you just threw something on that thing. No, Guardian, it's important. It'll come in important.
The Council of Mumbo is now watching. So we're now gonna test the opening. So here's how you're gonna do this.
Real quick. Guardian.
Yeah, I just want to
You
see.
see what I'm gonna make? So I'm gonna make a round table.
Yeah.
A square table.
Oh, the Council of Mumbo. Okay.
Okay, and then I'm gonna make. Can you help me make chairs?
Okay, you do that before I power. Okay. Okay.
Oh wait, so show us please what's wrong. Oh come on,
Come
don't
on.
be petty. My face when we're gonna upload 3 videos, and if somebody actually follows through the tutorial, they have stupid videos because everybody's gonna be watching.
Yeah, because you get to place all the composters, which is the most important job. Yeah. Yeah. And I'll, in both description, in all of our descriptions, we will show, I guess, both of all the perspectives. So yeah, I'm gonna power this. If this,
I guess we'll just show the fixes and I guess we'll just
yes,
show the fixes.
whatever you do, do not power this door. If you power this,
Guys, stop. I am making a vote.
we're not gonna test the whole thing. We're gonna test the opening first.
It is imperative that the Mumbo Council is present to watch.
Fine. We also have Mumbo over here.
Look at this, Guardian.
Oh yeah, Armorson.
Chloe, armor stands.
And in one of my, on the showcase of this, someone asked for the server. I will link that in the description. But do not come into the server and bully us for this massive dropper loop and 36 composters.
Why would you bully us? If anything, you should worship us.
Exactly, yes.
Hey guys.
Okay.
Guys, okay, so the Council of Mumbo is almost complete. Alright, there we go.
Okay, they're all watching.
Mumbos are watching. This one actually has to be facing this way.
So the closing
Send
goes.
the signal across.
We can see that this.
Door is so bad. I hate it so much.
And now we wait for this, and then the Mumbos will now judge.
Okay, you gotta move them up.
So they're watching the opening, and if you tested this already, then you might regret this. If this does not work for us, then we did something wrong with the composters. That means we have to redo
I'm not gonna.
that.
I am not redoing the entire.
Just redoing the composters.
What if this just find out another notification?
It should not be. And that would mean an hour of 20 hours. Yeah, and also I also gotta say some notes about some things coming up in December, if that's what month you're about to be in about 3 days. And also another one, but you will never see that door until December 31st on a premiere, so watch that when it comes. Yeah, I'm Great Carpet now. You will see eventually. Because that's very... I will do that afterwards. Come on, you're also a very smelly creep. You're also a very smelly creeper.
Wow. So this is why the conflicts are.
I don't even know if something's going wrong here.
I don't know if it went wrong or if it's not working.
And you can see this is where S1 power, S2, sorry, the very special timing, and you can see the tape ends and the item has returned back to here. And
it nerfs.
And there's this item is returned. So if you power that door there and it did not work, what were you doing? Okay, so now let's wait. We have to see what the what we have.
Guys.
Let's see.
There could be trapdoors, but it is imperative that they are worked trapdoors because every other trapdoor is useless.
I have a texture pack that has glass trapdoors, so it has like glass.
Oh wait, we have to see what the Council of Mumbo thinks.
Yeah, I'll put a sign and then the Council of Mumbo will say.
They will decide.
Okay. The Council of Mumbo says. This is what the Council of Mumbo said, Guardian. You have to look.
I don't want to see it. Okay, what else is it to say? It says, my target block door is literally better than you. You suck at redstone. Oh, thank you very much. But they also say one more thing to you, Deferless. Why did you say that they suck at redstone? You're really bad. You said Mumbo sucks at redstone. You know that's really
Look at the sign.
you're very mean to the Mumbo lovers. And before and I will keep you can get off.
I'll turn my render distance back up so you can see. Oh, hey, look at that. There's a bunch of stuff here. Wow.
Oh wow.
I'm turning it back down.
Okay, I had it on 32 for like the last hour. Because why not? Anyway, so.
It doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna look at your POV.
Okay, so Okay, so let's start making the house. This is why it's 95% dense. It says home sweet home.
It's 90% dense like your mom.
Thank you.
You get ender chest here, so you can make holes right here.
Yeah.
I feel like Hi-Fi actually has schematica for this house. No, I Make it a double chest so you can reach it. This is gonna be your whole space. Yeah, so basically he's world ending it down, so this is not actually 4 high. The only thing that's 4 high is the trapdoors. But you need those, so.
And by the way, if we did upload the first version, what we did with the original version 1 tutorial is we turned all the blocks into target blocks and we got rid of everything else and then, no, we just got rid of everything except for the observers. Yeah, it was amazing. There was like 4 stacks of observers in weird directions. This one is
It was so funny. It was, there were so many observers. There were even more than
And when I turned them all to target blocks, it was amazing.
So yeah, now you can make netherite. So,
Hey guys, listen to the chest opening and closing.
anvil over here. Anvil over here.
I don't want to. Okay. Yes, I guess.
What else
And
can?
anything else? That's bell, yes.
Yeah,
Bell is the most critical.
we need an Enderman. We need an Enderman too. And to make sure he doesn't get out, you could just put a trapdoor there. So now,
Wait, what if the spider messes up?
don't put a.
spider in. I'll just put you back.
Okay, so you should have left the video already. Okay.
I don't understand why I'm still here.
But you should still. And if you're still here, then you should listen actually, because I have some announcements to make because of stuff. So I will be for December. There will be about 21 YouTube videos uploaded. Yes, I said 21, like the meme. 9 plus 10 is 21. And from December 4th to December 24th, there will be one tutorial every single day for 3x3s and 4x4s of the skin doors. And because I don't want to publish one every single day, I'm going to put each of them on a premiere. Meaning if you're on this video, you should go to the premiere of each of the tutorials. And then on December 31st, there will be a very special New Year's 2020 edition of a door that you've already seen. Maybe. And okay, now we must test out the house before we end off the video. So I go through the house, I can use enchantment table, math meme 69, immigrant, square root of 10x, that's really cool. And where did the Enderman go? You got rid of my Enderman, you're so mean. You got rid of my Enderman.
This is so cancer. Hey, Guardian. Come in the sexy room with me. The sex room. Everybody needs to huddle in the sex room.
Bruh. Okay, let's just end the video. Okay, we're gonna.
Alright, one last thing. Sex room. Let's put that there.
Fine.
Alright, and after this opens,
I
what do
don't.
you think is anything better than
The closing is nice though because it does have this really nice cliff, but it's not as good as the book. And by the way, so go to all 21 of those premieres. If I see a comment in all 21 of those premieres from number 1 to 21, so if I see a 1, a 2, a 3, all the way to 21 through each premiere by the same person, then you will be worshipped by Grey Carpet, aka me.
AKA Guardian.
Yeah, I changed my name to Grey Carpet because of stuff. And only my yeah, I'm gonna change. And then we will end off the video. The thumbnail.
This is the best part of the opening, guys. It feels like I'm watching a movie.
Oh, I took a screenshot by accident.
No, this is the action scene of the movie. Ready? I love this part of the scene.
Yeah.
No. But they retract this. Okay, there's like this. No, these bars.
We broke the door again. We're good. We broke the door. This is a failed tutorial. Restart. Get rid of everything. Restart the tutorial. Bad tutorial. You're just bad.
I'm sorry. I just on the piston.
You're bad. You're so stupid, Deferless. You're actually 0 IQ. Anyways, bye. This is the worst video I've ever made. Goodbye.